Hey there, thanks so much for joining me for this exclusive VIP session that I've set up for you today. I'll take you through the process that I take my VIP clients through on their very first session. With traditional webinars these days, they have a lot of people telling you what to do, what's going on for you, this is what you should do. And that's not always the best way to find out what you can actually do uniquely for you, like what you actually require. And I'm not really like that anyway. I don't have the answers for you. I don't know exactly what's going on for you. And I surely don't know exactly what makes your heart sing and what you truly desire to create in your life. So, what I want to do today is do a little bit of a deep dive to find out what's going on with you. Where are your gaps? What's keeping you from creating what you really want to create in life, so we can bring all of that unconscious to the conscious and then do something with it. I love what Joe Dispenza talks about when he says, when you actually bring the unconscious conscious, you can actually do something about it, right? And then with the tools of what I'm going to show you today and the Art of Living Crazy Possible, you can actually start becoming masterful with your energy, your space, your consciousness, your actions, and who you're being, such that the universe responds to every desire that you have. And that's the gift truly that I would like to give you. But the first step in all of it, which is kind of the uncomfortable one and the one that a lot of people want to resist and not actually do, is the one I'm going to do with you today. So you ready to get started? Let's get going. How to close the gap between where you are and where you know you can be. Because every gap is simply showing you what is possible for you. Exclusive VIP process with me, Corey Michelle. So before we get going, let me formally introduce myself. I'm Corey Michelle, and I have this interesting capacity to look into someone's energy field and see where they are disharmonious with what the universe is trying to deliver them. I work with my clients in becoming harmonious with their energy so that everything they desire actualizes as if by magic. Developing a self-mastery with their energetic field so they can create anything they desire at any time. I've also created a process I use with myself and my clients that allows you to acknowledge your capacity to actualize a new life over and over at any time. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Rumi. I love this quote because what I've come to find after years and years and years of studying and trying everything, that the universe does have your back. So when you live like everything is rigged in your favor, it starts seeming like that. So a lot of people think it's all about the hustle. You see a lot of marketing out there right now and a lot of people teaching you just go, do more work, do more things. It's not all about the hustle, right? So if you hustle, you get burned out unless you've got energetic congruency. So if you have hustle, is inspired action plus energetic congruency, that's where the magic is. That's where things start showing up with ease, where you feel like you're in the flow, when you have the inspired action plus the energetic congruency. So that's also the space where things just start to happen. You feel like you have the magic touch. Anything is within your reach. And the realities you're aware of begin to actualize. Even if it seems like you've got these huge gaps, the gaps are tiny or no longer there at all. So during the most difficult time of my life, I found myself $150,000 in debt, struggling to be happy. I was frustrated, worried, constantly wishing and hoping for things to change. I did meditation, hypnosis, past life regression, religious science, church, psychics, shamans, Abraham Hicks, passion test, seminars, Islamic education, affirmations, afformations, EFT tapping, Course in Miracles, spiritual release technique, books, Anthony Robbins, Access Consciousness, NLP, Louise Hay, angels, Sonia Choquette, drugs, energetic clearings. I did it all. I was seeking, while all of these things offered more and more awareness, I was still left with a bridge that was not fully formed. I had a big fat gap. And so what I wanted the most was to know how I created. I wanted to know the secret of how I uniquely created within the universe. That was what I was always seeking. How do I create? What would that be like if you knew how you created? Like, so that nothing was out of your reach. So anything that you became aware of could actually be a possibility. Wouldn't that be amazing? For you, what is it that you would like? Is it knowing how you create? Maybe it's a closet full of Jimmy Choos, or maybe it's both. Perhaps it's an amazing relationship where you can be your wacky self. Or maybe it's global travel, memorable experiences, exploration, adventures. Or maybe, like my friend Sage, thriving business, writing a book, and contributing to the world. Or maybe having ease with money and mind-blowing orgasms and sexy heels. What if you can have it all? But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you truly desire, it is possible. You simply need to master how you uniquely create with the universe using your energy, your choice, and your awareness. The reason I didn't do a regular sort of webinar today is because I really don't know what it is that you desire. And I really don't know what it is that is creating your gaps right now. So for me to tell you, I've got something for you, I don't know that, but I'd like to find out. So I also don't know what your unique gaps are. I'm not a guru, and I don't tell people what to do or what they need. I help them discover their unique way of creating their life. So no guru knows more than you do. And that's really the truth, is there's a lot of teachers out there. There's a lot of guides. I would consider myself a guide. The universe is giving you information all the time. So it can come through lots of different sources. So by no means am I saying don't seek out people who can contribute to you. But when you start to know what you know and you know how to create, then you'll start seeking other people's advice so much, other people's awareness on things, and you'll start being able to tune in to you even more. So is this you? Are you intuitive? Are you energetically sensitive? Do you know more is possible but can't seem to create it yet? Do you have gaps, a gap or more than that for more than 2 years? Have you experienced the flow? So you know what it's like. And even if it's been one time or every now and then, or maybe it's a stop and go roller coaster for you. And have you tried everything? If this is you, or this is mostly you, this VIP session today is for you. So let's get started. The VIP agenda. We're going to first identify gaps. We're going to look at what's causing the gaps, and then we're going to look at how to bridge the gaps. And get where you know you can be. So this is interactive. You'll get more out of it if you participate. If you go to the chat box right now, you'll see the download available if you didn't get it already in your email. And if it's too late to download it right this moment, don't worry about that. Just get out a piece of paper and a pen and you'll be just fine. So the other thing is you can chat directly with me right here. So nobody else is on this webinar. There's nobody to distract you. There's nobody else's energies to get involved with. It's just you and me, and anything you put in that chat will come directly to me, and I will be personally responding to all of it. So I'll be inviting you throughout our time together to let me know what's going on with you. So we will move quickly. So be kind to you and eliminate other distractions. So whether it's putting your kids on some iPads, turning your phone off, turn Facebook off. And I say that because the more present you can be, just like if I was guiding you through this live, you would have some time and some space and some quiet for yourself, right? So give yourself that gift right now and eliminate the other distractions so that you can really take a deep dive with me right now. So to create what you know is possible, we first need information about your gaps. You see, it's actually about setting yourself up to have the universe respond to you in a way that actualizes your desires. So your gaps. Gaps are when you know something else is possible, but you haven't been able to create it yet. Most gaps last a while until you figure out how you create. And once you know how you create, it's kind of like riding a bicycle and you can't ever unknow it. You can do it anytime. So it's kind of like this. If you had a vehicle that could bridge every gap, what would that be like? Right? Like if you had a process, a vehicle that could bridge every gap, what would that be like? Would that make life so much easier? Right? But here's the thing, I'm not going to give you this tiny little red car. I'm going to give you a brand new Tesla. How's that? All right. So the targets for our VIP session, you're going to identify your gaps and what is creating them. You can discover what's missing so you can begin to implement, and you'll see what you can do next to support yourself in creating your new life. So let's go ahead and dive in, identify the gaps. So what is life like for you right now? What you're going to do is on your sheet, you'll see 5 stars next to each of these categories. So just mark, what do you have, a 1 star in this area, 3 stars or 5 stars, however many stars you've got. Money, is it easy or hard? Romance, fulfilling or disappointing? Your home space, is it nurturing or is it chaos? The business or career, rewarding or draining? And these, don't think about them too much, just mark where you're at. Future, inspiring or depressing? Travel, are you having any? Would you like any? Social, supportive or judgy? Do you have a circle of friends that really cheer you on, or do you have people in your life that are always judging you? Life in general, is it easy or is it a struggle? Is your body, are you adoring it or are you hating it? Sex, is it pleasurable or are you lacking it? Okay, so rate each area 1 to 5 stars, and 1 being, not so great, and 5 being 5 stars, just like a 5-star hotel. All right, like I said, we're going to go quickly through these, so we don't want to go mess around in the potential heaviness of them. We just want to identify a few things. So you may have certain areas and you may not have certain areas, and that's okay. So we're just looking for, where are they? We're doing a little scout here. We're finding your areas. So you might have romance and travel, and that's it, or you might have all of them. Okay, so what would you like your life to be like? What would you like it to be like? Okay, and so what I want you to do here is just write a couple of words, that represent what you would like it to be like. Money, romance, home space. Would you like to have plenty of money and ease with money? Would you like to have, romance be just really nurturing? Would you like your home space to be somewhere you love to go home to? Your business or career, would you like to be thriving? Your future, would you like to be optimistic and confident about your future? Travel, would you like to have more travel? Would you like to have less travel wherever you're at? Social, would you like to have more friends that have your back? Life in general, is there anything else? Your body, what would you like your relationship with your body to be like? And sex, what would you like your sex life to be like? All right, I'll just give you a minute here. Okay. All right, so what are you becoming aware of? Are you starting to see some gaps there? And you can see the gaps because you might have a 1 star, right, on money, for example, and you might be like, oh, I'd really like it to be so easy and abundant. Well, that's a gap. If you're struggling with money and you'd like to have money be easy and abundant, then there's 1 gap. So what we're going to do is identify those. So go ahead and circle whichever ones that you have gaps with. Okay, so wherever there was some sort of gap. Now, if you had 1 star for money and you were okay with that and you said, that's totally fine, then that wouldn't be a gap. Okay, so just circle the ones that are gaps for you. And just notice how many you have. Now, next to that, write down, how long have they been there? How long have you had this money gap? How long have you known more money is possible, for example, or ease with money is possible? And how long have you been either aware of it or struggling with it? Or even trying to fix it? It could be really anything. And like I said, this is really customized to whatever's been going on with you. Romance, your home space, business and career. We had a client the other day and said, I've been trying to quit my nursing job for 10 years. And then she finally did it. And she was like, oh my God, I'm free. And she was so worried about what she was going to do next. And now she's just like traveling and doing all this other fun stuff for her. And she's like, finally, I have a break to be able to really enjoy my life. But it took her 10 years. It was a 10-year gap. Future, travel, social, life in general. For me, the social aspect is I just knew that I wanted to have people around that had my back, that we had fun, that there wasn't a lot of pressure, like if I wanted to do something different, they were okay with it, and vice versa. And I knew that was possible for such a long time, and I finally ended up creating that in my life. And we had another client who really wanted to have your back relationships, and she asked for 7 of them over the last year, and she got every single one of them. It's pretty cool stuff. How long have these gaps been going on? Years, months, a lifetime? A lot of people say a lifetime because of the programming from their upbringing. Maybe their parents were afraid of flying, so they never ever got on an airplane, but they always dreamed of traveling. So that might be a lifelong gap. Okay. All right, so how much time have you spent, right, on the money, relationships, your home space? So the next column, just put how much time have you spent? Business and career, your future, travel, social, life in general, body, sex. So how much time have you spent either trying to change it, thinking about it, worrying about it, wishing, right? Avoiding it. I know for me, money was such a big one. I spent so much time in classes, getting healing, searching for, how to solve my money problems, how to have more prosperity consciousness. And it took so many days, so many hours, so much money to that I kept throwing at it to try to figure out how I could have ease of money, right? So it took a lot of time, years. All right, now, what is it costing you to have these gaps? Money, time, energy, health, joy and happiness, pleasure, freedom, right? So the contribution that you be, clients you can assist. I had a client the other day who, she's a medical intuitive. She just knows that she's here to contribute to people and it brings her so much joy. But she only had a few clients in her business. And so she was like, this is actually costing me the people that I can help, the people that I can contribute. And that's just not a cost to her, that's a cost to them too. Because she knows that she's here to work with some unique people. So that's one of the costs in having these gaps. So she was like, forget that, I'm totally bridging this gap, we're going for it. So I was like, cool, all right. Right, so what is it costing you? And so much of the time it's costing us a lot of these things. Any one of these gaps, if you have one gap, it could be costing you all of this. Right? If you have a few gaps, it's probably costing you a number of these things, right? So can you start to see what having these gaps is actually costing you? So what's it like if you have this gap in 2020? If you and I are sitting on the beach and we're talking and you're like, Corey, I still have these gaps. I tick the same boxes. It's exactly the same. What is that going to be like for you with money? If you have the same gap that you've had for all these years with money, relationships, your home space, if things don't change with your business and career, right, with your future, with travel, if you don't go anywhere the next year, if that's your thing, life in general, your body, sex. If you still have these gaps, maybe they've gotten a little bit better, maybe they've gotten worse, but if you still have these gaps and you don't know how to ride your bike of creating your life in the next year, then what's that going to be like? What impact is that actually going to have on your livelihood? Now, if you're thinking to yourself, fuck that, I am not having that, that is not going to be my life in a year, I am bridging these gaps, forget it, it's costing me way too much, then you are in the right place, because what I have next coming up for you is amazing. So we just identified the gaps. Now we're going to go into what's causing them. This part is scary for people. For some reason, everybody thinks that there's going to be some big bad yuckiness that we find behind the curtain that is going to say, oh, they're never going to get it, they don't deserve it, or there's going to be something terribly wrong, right? But that's never true. Not one time out of the thousands of people that I've facilitated have we ever found a big monster behind the curtain. What we usually find is exactly why they're stopped, and it's not nearly as big of a deal as people lots of times think it is and spend years avoiding looking at it because they think it's going to be horrible. So what's causing your gaps? Gap creators are three typical things. One is self-sabotage behavior, lack of or misguided clarity, lacking space of contribution. All right, so let's just dive into this self-sabotage behavior. Self-sabotage behavior, sometimes we know we're doing it and sometimes we don't, but this is what it feels like. It feels like you're in a glass jar where you can see the ocean, the amazingness, but you're really stuck. You can't move, almost paralyzed sometimes. And maybe you're fighting to get out, but it's not working and you can still see everybody else having so much fun out in the distance, but you can't seem to get there. That's kind of the experience, right? So this has a lot to do with what I call the lie of belonging. And these are some of the symptoms of the lie of belonging. So on your sheet, what I'd like you to do is just check off which ones read for you. Doubting yourself. Belonging is an identity. Postponing what needs to be done to do for others. Making excuses. Critical and judgy inner talk. Seeking approval. being guilted and shamed into choosing what you don't want, choices to make other people happy, worrying, letting fears stop you, unwilling to do the work, unwilling to be present. Now, this is an exercise of presence right now. So are you checking Facebook? Or are you actually checking the boxes off here? So thinking something is wrong with you, comparing yourself to others, not enough syndrome, and perfectionism. So how many ticks do you have? All right, now if you have the critical and judgy inner talk, let's just, put that over to the side for right now. We're literally just taking inventory. Where are you at? What is actually creating your gaps? All right, so how many do you have? Let me know in the chat box, how many of these ticks do you have for belonging? So if you have 3 or more, the lie of belonging, basically fitting into this reality, is a key to unlocking this self-sabotage so that you become free of all of this. Because what's life like when you're not doubting yourself? What's life like when you're not judging yourself? What's life like when fears don't stop you? Right? What's life like when you are enough, right? Okay, cool. We can get you beyond all of this stuff. Next up is the past and stories. Do you feel ashamed about anything? You wish things could have been different, or you wish you could have chosen differently. You think it was the best time of your life, or that the time of your life was the best it could ever get. Blaming someone or yourself for how something turned out. Regrets. Avoiding being judged. That's a big one. Looping stories, example about money. I'm not good with it. I'm not good with it. I can't seem to actually make it. Like looping relationship patterns. Trying not to fail, avoiding choosing. Trying not to outshine anyone in your family or friends. You had something before, it didn't work out, so you're not going to do it again. Trying not to repeat the past. And being aware of past patterns, but they're not changing. So you have an awareness, but still doing the same things. So this is another invisible barrier that creates self-sabotage. And when you've got these energetic patterns, and all these are energetic patterns that we can clear, but when you don't have them cleared, they continue to run on your system. And when they're sort of underneath the surface, that's what creates the invisibility, because you're like, I don't know why I keep regretting this, because I'm okay with it, but I keep regretting it, or I keep looping about this, I just don't know why. It's because of energetic patterns that are in your unconscious. So inner conflict, all right, when what you say and what you do are different. All right, so what you say, hey, I really want to have tons of money, and then what you choose, hey, I think I'll watch some Netflix instead. This is inner conflict, and this is where so much of the time we know we're doing it. I want to lose a bunch of weight, but I'm going to eat donuts and ice cream and fried chicken instead, right? So we go counter to what we really like to have, right? You don't know you're doing it. So that's another where you think you're doing something that's going to create more, but it's actually going against you. And then you can't seem to help from doing it. Right? And those are the ones that are like a little bit of addiction, right? And it doesn't mean you're addicted to drugs or anything like that, but sometimes you're just addicted to these heavier energies, these heavier emotions, right? So keep creating destructive relationships where you're heartbroken. Well, there might be an energetic addiction to that heavy energy of being heartbroken. And not that you said, yes, that's what I want, is I want to be heartbroken. I love that energy. It more comes from the patterns of your childhood and how you're raised. And I have a process that we go through in the Art of Living Crazy Possible that identifies exactly what those are so that you can free yourself of them. All right, now here's the question. Are you judging yourself for having inner conflict? Because that keeps inner conflict in there. 100%. It just locks it right in. Ditch that judgment. Let me take you through a quick process here. What do you say you want? So write down on your sheet one thing that you say you would like to have, whether it's as a target or a goal. Maybe it's just something you're like, I really want that, and you just keep talking about it. And maybe it has to do with one of your gaps. You keep saying, hey, I want to have ease with money, or I want to make this much money in my business. Okay, and then what do you do instead? What do your actions look like? Are your actions congruent? Right, or are they not congruent? Okay, now when you're congruent with something, this is obviously congruent, right? So say, hey, I want to lose some weight. And then you start exercising and you start, eating differently. And then all of a sudden you're losing weight. That's where you're congruent. We're looking at the places where you're not congruent. So if you take one of those gaps and look at one of those, you're going to see clearly what some of your actions are that may not be congruent. Now, what shows up, right? So if I say, hey, I want to lose some weight, and then instead I eat donuts and pizza, right? And then what shows up is I feel really bad about myself and I start judging myself, and then I don't ever lose the weight. And then 10 years goes by and I still haven't lost the weight, right? So that's what you want to put up shows up. And it's kind of like we want to go delete, 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 delete. How do we stop doing that, right? How do we stop having this inner conflict that continues to create those gaps? So where is your inner conflict? Is it with money, wealth, or business, health in your body, romance, your social life, fun? And like we said before, some people have like one major area and other people have their whole life. That's why I wanted to go through this process with you. So that's why I wanted to walk through this with you as a guided process, because I can't tell you where your gaps are. I can't give you that information. You have to find that information. So where is your inner conflict? So just circle the ones where you have inner conflict. And if you have other ones, just write them on the side. All right, so how many ticks do you have? Now, this is not a time to judge yourself. We want to look at all of this just as data. We're just taking intake, right? It's like when you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, let's check all your vitals. Let's see where you are. I actually had blood work done the other day because I had some symptoms. Like I was really tired. I couldn't figure out why I was so tired. And so I had my blood work done and it said I was super low in iron. So I was like, oh, well, that's really great. And I never would have guessed it. The intake of, hey, where are we at? Where are your vitals right now is super important data. It doesn't mean anything. But what it does mean right now is that you're looking at this and there's a good chance that you want to change it as well. The universe is actually responding to your actions, which is your energy and motion, your energy, how you feel, and what you're thinking, and who you're being, and your frequency. Right? So all of this is the communication of the universe that creates your reality. So what we have to do is we have to take a good look at, hey, what is your machinery running right now? What's actually going on in your system so that we can look at, hey, what do we need to alter, change, attune, adjust so that we can get the response from the universe that is more desirable. Wouldn't you like that? You just have to attune a few things and then get the universe to respond in a more desirable way. Wouldn't that be great? All right, so gap creators, we have self-sabotage behavior we went through, and next up is clarity. Is it lack of clarity or misguided clarity? The universe will deliver when your thoughts, your actions, and your energy are congruent with your desires. This is the work that I do. This is what I somehow can see in people of what is actually possible and what's incongruent, so what's disharmonious, and how to actually get you harmonious such that the universe goes, oh, I got your message. I got that exact order. Here you go, right? And it doesn't always happen right away. And it's not like it instantly manifests all the time. Now, it sometimes does, and those are such fun miracles to receive. But what it is a full attunement when your thoughts, your actions, your energies are all congruent with your desires. Then the universe has such an easier time delivering you exactly what you're asking for. What do you think your priorities are now? Money, wealth, family, your business, health, your body, romance, your social life, fun. What do you think your priorities? What do you think your priorities are right now? So just go ahead and circle the ones that you think are yours. Now, if you have other ones that you're already aware of, go ahead and write those down. And tell me in the chat box, what are your priorities? All right. Now let's take a look at what your priorities really are. What do you spend your time on? What do you spend your energy on? And what do you spend your money on? Those are your real priorities. Now, oftentimes it's not congruent with what you just said your priorities are. So I had this priority of losing weight for a long time, but then I realized that I didn't really spend any time, energy, or money on losing weight. I also had this priority of travel, like I mentioned before, but I didn't spend any time, energy, or money on my travel. So it was definitely not a priority. Here's another element with the energy fields, reacting to energy. So something good happens and you're happy, yay! And something bad happens and you're frustrated, upset, angry, boo. Okay. Now, what happens is when you're reacting to your energy field, you're looking outside of yourself. You're waiting for an energy to show up to determine if you're happy. It's kind of like one of the things I used to do was I would walk into a room and there'd be negative energy or heavy energy. And I would be like, oh gosh, the energy's so heavy here. I'm negative. I'm leaving. And I realized that I was being a victim to the energies that were showing up in my life. And so I was being swooshed around by whatever energies were around. And it was all because I was looking outside of myself to determine how I chose to be. So, what mood I was in. So, you go from looking outside of yourself, right, and being reactionary, which is basically not clear. You can never be clear if you're in reactionary, okay, to clarity. And when you start going, hey, what energies do I want to be when I walk in a room? How can I influence the energy of the room? That's when you have clarity. That's when you're so powerful. You're a beacon to the universe to let the universe know, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm being. This is what I would like. And the universe can't help but start to deliver it to you. Now, when you're not clear, a lot of times you have these self-sabotage things going on that are helping make you not clear, and a whole bunch of other stuff that could be in there, right? You might be having the past in your way, you might be having some inner conflict, but basically it makes you scattered as an energetic being, versus on the right-hand side where we have this guy who's clear, a clear beacon to the universe going, hey, this is what I'm having. I'm not going to have anything else, right? Now for you, how much clarity do you have? Let me know in the box to say really clear, not clear at all, and which guy do you look like? Are you the on the left-hand side, the got my energy all over the place, right? Got one bad thing happens in a day and all of a sudden you're tanked for 2 weeks? Or are you clear and strong and you're like, yeah, nobody really has an effect on me. I choose my energy. Let me know. All right, so if you wish to understand the universe, you got to think of energy, frequency, and vibration. I love this quote by Nikola Tesla, and it is the truth. You want to start having mastery with energy, frequency, and vibration, and your own self-mastery with that. And this is what's so key about what I love to facilitate, because once we start gaining a mastery, you start to know how you create. And what's it going to be like when you know how you create? Right? No more gaps, no more searching around, spending all the money on all the classes and reading all the books to try to figure it all out. Like, you'll know, you'll be living your life in a totally different way. So the gap creators, self-sabotage, clarity, and the last one here is lacking a space of contribution. Now this one is huge. So the space of contribution includes 3 things: people, energy and actions, space, and time. All right, so if we have all 3 of these things, if they are not congruent, this is what they look like. They're all separate and not working together. Okay, so when we start becoming more congruent, so our people in our life are, there's say 30% of people in our life are contributing to us, our space, like our home space and stuff like that, is contributing to us. Time, we're spending time on things that contribute to us and our future. Our energy and actions, like our own self-energy and the things we choose, 30%, say 30% in each of these areas. And you have 30% people in your life that really have your back and cheering you on. So if you have 30%, then you start to create this little place where this unicorn is, where there's a magical energy. That's when you tap into the flow. That's when you be in the right place at the right time. But in this space with only 30%, you're still getting it every now and then. It's not a way of life. It's not a lifestyle yet. So when you get energetically congruent, what happens is you basically create a new reality, a whole new life, where the people, the space, your time, your energy and actions, they're all contributing to you. So what starts to happen is that you start to step into this whole different way of being, this whole different reality, where I remember the first time for me, I was sitting in my backyard in San Diego, and there's like 8 different kinds of butterflies and 3 different kinds of birds, and it was my first ocean view house, and I was sitting back there and there's all these trees, and I was like, I literally feel like I am living a totally different life. And I had become congruent with a lot of the things I had always wanted. I had always wanted to live with an ocean view. I had always wanted to live somewhere where it never snowed. I had always wanted to just have the space to be able to create what I really wanted to create in my life. And I had finally done it when I had moved to San Diego. And I remember just going, I am in a different reality now. Holy cow. And it was really amazing because all these other things started showing up that I had always wanted. I became a best-selling author. I was invited to speak on a bunch of stages that I really wanted to contribute to. And there's so many other things. I finally went to Australia for the first time that year. I went to Bali for the first time that year. I did all these things that I always wanted to do, that everything came together, and it was like the year of everything happening, right? But what happened, because when I looked back, is that I actually got congruent. My actions, the people that I surrounded myself with, my space, the place where I was choosing to live, my time was spent on things that were contributing to me. My energy was who I was being. I was being my future self, and my actions were all congruent. This is the space of your new life, and it's not as hard as you might think it is, right? You just have to know how to do it. So do you have people in your life that cheer you on? Do you have people that support you no matter what? Do you have people that have your back? Those kind of relationships. Are you surrounded by people that inspire you? Is your social media feed full of things that you want to see? Is this something that's interesting to you? Would you like that? What would it contribute to you? Do you spend time on things that light you up, right? Or are you doing things that you don't want to do? Or do you fear that people will leave you if you actually choose for you? Right? I had one client who had this unspoken agreement to go to her parents' house for dinner every single Sunday. So every single Sunday, and she was about 40 years old, she went to her parents' house for dinner on Sundays. And by the time she came to me, she was like, I love my parents and everything, but I just don't want to go to dinner at their house every single Sunday. Like, I'd like to do other things on Sundays. And one of the things that came up for her was that she was afraid that her parents were going to get upset if she said what she really wanted. And she ended up doing that. She ended up telling them, and they ended up being okay with it. But then she was like, you know what, I want to come over. What would really work for me is like one time a month. Let's do like a nice family dinner one time a month. And it ended up working out just great. And she ended up traveling and doing all these other things on the weekends. And that seems like a really small thing, but it was something that she wasn't willing to step into for a lot of years. It was a big gap for her. So, do you get started on stuff and lose interest and excitement? Do you get big ideas and don't follow through, or maybe get distracted? Do you get inspired but don't really have anyone around to support you and cheer you on? These are all symptoms of either having or not having the space of contribution. So, are you inspired by your home? Do you enjoy being there? Does your job, business, or career ignite joy? Do you wear clothes that your body loves? So these are all symptoms of having or not having the space of contribution. And when you have that space of contribution, when it's all together, congruent, you literally start to create a new life. But you have to look at every single little thing and go, okay, so does this still spark joy in my life, right? Is this still contributing to me, or is it not? And being willing to let go, whether it's thoughts in your head, whether it's old beliefs, whether it's friends. Sometimes we have to ditch some friends. Now, what you've just been through is the first VIP session with me. So we do all of this work in the first session. And what it's kind of like is taking your purse out, dumping it out on the table, and seeing what's in there. And hopefully there's 3 amazing little Yorkies in there. My purse has never had Yorkies in it. But it has had a lot of stuff that I didn't know was in there, right? Have you ever had that happen? You're like, oh, I didn't know that was in there. And it's also had a lot of stuff that I was like, oh, I've been looking for that in my purse. But now you can actually see it all. It's kind of like we dumped all of your vitals right on the table so we can see them all. Now, you might feel like this right now where your head's going to explode. Wondering, how can I bridge my gaps from here, knowing all this stuff? It just created a lot of awareness in your world. So what comes next is amazing. We're going to diving into clearing everything that holds you back, identifying your unique energetic priorities from your essence, the ones that are from your infinite being, and how to start using them in your life immediately through practices and activations. We'll work together to refine your energy of what's showing up, reducing reactions and increasing your presence and response. So if you were one of my VIP clients, that's what we would actually start working on next. And so when you get your energetic priorities, when you identify those, it's amazing because you can feel it in every cell of your being. Your whole energy field starts to light up. When we start identifying these juicy targets, we'll talk about it in a minute, then it's just like everything starts to go, oh, this is how we do it. And a lot of people say there is no how to the universe, but there is. There is a how you create. Now, we don't know how the universe is going to deliver certain things. That's always fun to find the magic in it. But there is a how to how you create. So how does that sound? Awesome, right? So to work together one-on-one through this process, activating your energetic congruency is about $24,000 US for a year. But while that's amazing, it simply takes way too long to do it one-on-one. Plus, I don't really have the space to work with too many people one-on-one these days. So I've created a system where you can get all of this, just like working with me privately, in just 8 weeks for a fraction of the investment. All the processes, the activations, the live coaching, plus community support and inspiration in just 8 weeks. How does that sound? Pretty awesome, right? So, would you like to know how you can have it for mostly free? Yes! All right, so if you're a big fat yes to that, which I hope you are if you're still on here, because who wouldn't want all of that for a fraction of the cost in 8 weeks? It's called The Art of Living Crazy Possible, global online class. Who's it for? Anybody that's got a gap for more than 2 years. So if you tick those boxes, that's you. If you've ticked more than 6 boxes in your VIP session today, then it's for you. If you are ready to have creating your life be ease-filled and fulfilling, you want to be living the life you know is possible, you don't want to be talking to me in a year having the same gaps again. And you know more is possible, and you're ready to know exactly how you can have everything that you ask for actualize. So what you'll receive is the Art of Living Crazy Possible course, 9 pre-recorded video sessions, process activation sheets, MP3 downloads, and 4 pre-recorded coaching sessions, which are about 2 hours each. Now, in the course, this is really cool, that we go through 9 modules, and the first one is Beyond Belonging. This is where we actually find out when you decided that you needed to fit into this reality, that you needed to get this reality right. I have a whole process for this that actually guides you so naturally and easily to identifying this and then unlocking it for yourself. So when you unlock this for yourself, it's like fitting in and belonging. And sometimes people go, oh, I don't really need to fit in or whatever, but they're still functioning like that. There's still this undercurrent, because if you have something that goes like, hey, it's never going to work for me, what you're really saying is this reality doesn't work for me and I don't work. So if you have any of that programming in there, this module right here is for you. And then we move right into clearing the past, because we got to get that junk out of your trunk. Then we eliminate the internal conflict. So basically, in that module, I teach you a process that you can use at any time that you have internal conflicts. You never have to suffer with the brain damage that the internal conflict creates. So those 3 are the first. We get them out and done right away. It's all about bringing up the stuff and taking out the garbage. Then we step right into energetic priorities. So this is the fun one. This is where it gets really juicy. So you identify your energetic priorities, those energies that you would like to have be your whole entire life. So whether they're joy or ease or magic or delightful living, like whatever they are that you identify through our process, are the ones that you go, oh, if I could have my whole life be like that, what would that be like? Oh my goodness. And that's the energy that you start beaming. Those are the energies you start beaming to the universe to let the universe know what you would like to have. And then we really work with the energy. We show you how to use this energy to start making choices in your life. And then we do the thing that everybody hates, which is set some juicy targets. So first of all, we clear away all the misconceptions about targets and every way you've created targets to actually fail, and clear all out of the way so we can start acknowledging congruent, juicy targets, the ones you're going to hit every single time. Now, ask and receive is a huge element of this, because we got to start asking for the awareness of, hey, if I choose this, will it create more of these energetic priorities? I show you how to implement ask and receive using your energetic priorities so you can determine whether or not different choices are going to create more of what you want or not. It's kind of like being a fortune teller through your own awareness. So you're totally empowered. And then we have conscious action. So, what actions do I take? Following through, having integrity with your own self. Like a lot of times, we say, oh, I want to lose the weight, but then we don't follow through, right? Or we have big visions and we lack the self-integrity. So we talk about this and we sort of clear all that stuff out of the way so you can start implementing stuff and then be able to count on your own self. And then the final module is all about choice and creation. So there's a few energies in here and a few elements that I love that just have everything work together better. So these last three, the second 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all about really cultivating this energy and cultivating the energies of your reality and your energetic field, what you desire and what you would like to have. And then the last 3, 7, 8, and 9 are really about mastery, self-mastery, moving into how do you actually live this way? Okay, so you get all the things, you get audios, you get videos, you get the downloads, you get all the things, right, to support you in this. So what you'll learn is how to easily blow by anything that's been stagnant or holding you back. Activate your energetic priorities so that you can receive everything that you ask for. Reset your consciousness to what is natural for you, what is actually your organic way of creating as an infinite energetic being. Increase your trust and confidence between you and the universe. Discover how you uniquely create so that you can do it over and over again and bridge every single gap. So what you'll receive today is the Art of Living Crazy Possible course, which is valued at $2,997. You get a 9-video series, creation sheets, MP3 downloads, recorded coaching sessions. You get all the things, and the total value, like I said, is $2,997. But I have more for you. So I have 3 freebie bonuses. So these 3 things are to help ensure that you get maximum benefit from this course. So you get my brand new Congruence 2019 call where you just literally energetically throw out the window anything from your past that's not congruent and tap into the energetic fields and the energetic patterns of your future. We do the life evaluation, which is amazing. It's similar to what you just did with me today, but deeper. It's a 2-hour process. So we really dive in and look at all of these things and excavate all of the stuff so we can put it all on the table and let it go. And then you get the magic of finances, which when you have your energetic priorities, everything with your finances changes. Everything changes. So you kind of have to go through and look at, hey, what are finances and money like for me now? All right, so you get all that. You get the life evaluation class, which is $247. We sell for $247. Congruence class for $247, and then the Magic of Finances class for $247 as well. Now, all that total value is $3,738, and you're not going to pay that today. All of that is just $997. But here's the thing. This would be giving you a plan to fail, and let me tell you why. 80% of people fail to receive the value from a self-study program. And I actually don't want you to fail. So I've created an accelerated learning model. And what that includes is Crazy Possible coaches, right? So we have these 3 amazing Crazy Possible coaches that I just absolutely adore, that are totally potent, totally intuitive, and magical. Kelly, and she's in the UK. Andy, she's in New Zealand. And Tracy, she is in Canada. And they are around to support you through this program 100% through the whole 8 weeks and beyond. So basically, you get 3 coaches on your side, right? Like, how cool is that? Now, you have live watch parties. Now, here's the thing. So one of the things that happens with self-study programs is that you buy the program and then you might not ever log into it. We have a lot of people that message us. Literally, we had somebody from 4 years ago message us the other day that said, hey, I never actually did this program. Can I get the login details? They bought it 4 years ago and they didn't do it, right? So this is what we know. This is what we know in our business. This is like industry standard for buying online programs is that 80% of people don't even do them. So we actually want you to do this because we know how much of a difference it makes in your life when you know how you uniquely create. So what we've done is set up live watch parties. And what that means is we've set up times where we're going to live stream in the Facebook group the videos of the modules. Like this one you can see is module number 4, setting your energetic priorities. And you get to watch it with everybody else. And a coach will be on with you. So what's really amazing about this is that it's interactive learning. The more you engage and the more you interact live, especially with other people, the more you actually get it, right? So all you have to do is schedule the watch parties in your calendar and then show up to the Facebook group and participate, right? Now, your participation is really up to you, but this is what we've set up so we can ensure that you actually get so much more from the program than if you're just going to have it, go to your inbox and never open it. So as you can see here, one of the really cool things down in the right-hand corner is that there are 30 people on here watching it live with you. 30 people engaging all at the same time. So you get this amazing community of people having this conversation of going, oh, and asking questions and sharing their ahas. It's amazing. All right, so community support. Look at this. What if you had all these people cheering you on and going, yeah, you rock, right? Because what happens in the Facebook group during the course is that you will have, oh my gosh, this miracle happened, to, oh my gosh, all the stuff is in my face. You'll go through the whole gamut. And when you have people cheering you on, willing to contribute to you because they have your back, it is one of the most supportive, amazing things that you could ever do for yourself. So I love this quote by Napoleon Hill: deliberately seek the company of people who influence you to think and act on building the life that you desire. And that's basically what we've created, is a complete support system to inspire you, to support you, to cheer you on, and to be there when it's not so fun. Because upgrading your life, becoming congruent, you're going to see some stuff that you maybe have been ignoring for a while. That's going to come up. So you need support in that space. You can't do this alone, right? It doesn't really work that way. And it'll take you a lot longer because of the processes that we have that accelerate you moving through all of this to identify how you uniquely create. So I love this too, because you can share and be inspired. So one of the keys is really sharing what's up for you. Now, not everybody does this, but a lot of people do. And I love this one from Megan. She said, I'm so excited. I wanted to share a crazy possible win with you all. After watching module 2, Clearing the Past, last week, shit was stirred up. I ended up writing a piece, How to Stop Spewing Your Past All Over Your Present, and submitting it to the Elephant Journal. Well, my piece got accepted for submission, and this was her first piece that got accepted, and it's now published, and it's an editor's pick. How awesome is that? What she just told me the other day is that she had targeted for 950 views. She ended up getting over 9,000 views. How cool is that? And it was the #1 viewed piece on all of Elephant Journal. And Elephant Journal is a global online magazine, so that was really, really awesome. Since then, she's actually published a few more articles that have been accepted and widely popular. So this was one of the things. She had a past thing, she released it, and boom, it literally showed up practically instantly. All right, now Monia is awesome. She really has taken on the ask and receive section. She's like, you know what, universe, how does it get better? This morning I asked, show me what is already available for me to say yes to. And over lunch, one of the ladies at work says, hey, I have this ring I can't wear anymore. I'd love to give it to you. Would you like it? And I said yes. And bam, just like that, ask and you shall receive. I'll have more of this, please, universe. Oh, look at that gorgeous ring. So you can start tapping into what's already available to you as well. Now, I love this one from Andrea. She said, I had the most abundant week ever, and this is proof. I just can't help but seeing this makes me laugh, or makes me laugh, I guess. Had to share this with you all. Apparently, following your energetic priorities changes things. How cool is that? Now, she was one that was really struggling with money when she came in. She took advantage of a payment plan option that we had, and she was like, I'm so glad I did because money started to really turn around. How cool is that? All right, so we have tons of other things that are talked about in our Facebook groups, as well as when we start working with energetic priorities, we ask you to create a little image. We've got a little program for that, and post it in there. Share it with people because you go, oh, I really like this one, and I really like this one, and ooh, that one feels really good. So it starts to contribute. Everybody contributes to each other. Now, energy activations. I'm adding in 9 energy activations for you. And these are a specialty of mine. They are amazing. We work with your energetic field. We work with bringing in the future possibilities. We work with your energetic congruency to the module that we just did. So there's one for every single module. Now, live group coaching, this is the bee's knees right here. So live group coaching, we've set up 8 sessions for you guys. So we have 4 in the US time zones, we have 4 in the European time zones, and of course Australia and New Zealand get both because that's how it works out. But you get 4 in each of the time zones, 8 total, you get all the recordings, and you can be on live. So if you're stuck, if you've got a question, if you just need some help, if you want to listen to everybody else's questions, so much value. Every time one of these is facilitated, people come off and say, holy cow, somebody else asked my question. It was amazing. And even watching the replays, people just get so much out of this live coaching because we can dive into specifically what's going on for you. So if you're like, I feel stuck, I don't know what energies are mine, I'm so psychic, I feel everybody else's stuff, you can get on with one of the coaches and get personalized coaching. You have the whole course, right? You have those bonuses, the 3 classes. Then you have the 3 Crazy Possible coaches, which I don't know, I just put a price on it because it's really valuable. About $1,000 if you were going to pay for 3 coaches for 8 weeks and all the live sessions. Because the other thing you can do is 24/7, you can go into the Facebook group, ask any question you want, and the coaches will respond to you. How cool is that? It's like you having a coach in your pocket. And then you have the 8 live coaching sessions, right? Those are just amazing. So $2,376 value for those. We have 9 energy activations, which is another $243. We have watch parties for every time zone. So like I said, we have US time zone, we have European time zone. In Australia and New Zealand get both. They're so lucky. And I couldn't put a value on that because those, I don't even know. They're just, our clients love the watch parties. They say that that's what makes this course so special and unique and what really helped them continue on because they had a structure set up for themselves in their calendar where they knew where to be, they knew what time to be, and they did it. It's kind of like some people can work out on their own. I'm more of a class person. I have to sign up for a class and actually go to it to actually work out. I know it's crazy, but some of us are built like that. We have community support, which is priceless. Inspiration and new friends, priceless. You will literally make friends in this group of people that will have your back and really enjoy creating with you. Private Facebook group for 24/7 support, again, priceless. So all of that totals a value of $7,357. Okay, check this out. That's not going to be the price for you. All right, so basically what's going to happen right now is I'm going to give you all of that stuff for free. And the investment is just $997. So basically, I'm giving you $6,300 worth of free stuff just so you have success in this program, so you can discover how you uniquely create. That's how confident I am in this program. I did share with you earlier how you can get this for a fraction of the price, which this is the fraction of the price of all of this stuff together. We're giving you so much for free here. But here's the thing. When you know how you create, you stop spending money, time, energy on trying to fix all of these gaps, right? So if you just look at even how much money, like we brought up before, how much money did you spend last year trying to resolve these gaps, trying to bridge these gaps? Like, what was that? And if you knew how you create, would you have to ever spend money on that again? Right? So we have time, money, and energy. And if we get all of that back, just like what we looked at, what is it actually costing you? Is it costing your health? Is it costing you energy? Is it costing happiness? Is it costing freedom? Is it costing you money to not know how you create? So if you look at this instead of a price tag, but look at it as an investment, we're looking at an investment that will enable you to know how you create, so that will eliminate not only your gaps, but also seeking for the answers, right? Seeking the things that'll change it all, so that you can focus your energy and your attention on the future you really want to create. Now, I have another surprise for you. Can she make it any better? Yeah, I actually can, because here's the thing. There's 2 things that I'm seeing that are super contributive to this process for people, for my clients. So because you're not going to be a whole year with me working one-on-one and everything, I want to make sure that you do have a whole experience, kind of like working with me one-on-one. So what that includes is lifetime access to our graduates group. And this is a Facebook group where you can go in and ask any question, you can participate, you can make friends, you can do all the things, you can get support. We have a lot of people posting in there that are like, hey, I changed my priorities, or I actualized this, or this happened and I've been wanting for that to happen for 10 years. So it's like this ongoing supportive community. Now, the next one is my favorite, and this is the thing that ties everything together. And it's a private one-on-one session, a 30-minute session with a Crazy Possible coach. And I call it the Future Possibility Session because what you do in this session is you clarify your energetic priorities, you tap into your targets, remove anything in the way holding you back, and then you ignite your future and bridge your gaps. So sometimes when people go through this course, they get super clear, and when they get on this, they're just like, yes, let's like really activate this future. And other times they're like, oh, I'm still unclear about my energetic priorities. So that's where they start. So this really has provided so much value to our clients that they're raving about it. So much gratitude to Kelly Early for a Future Possibility session that really connected me to powerful energy. Thank you so much. I had my Future Possibility session with Kelly Friday, and this happened. It looks like she's doing something with a lightsaber. Thank you, Kelly, for getting my energetic priorities boiled down. And so, yes, I wonder what else is possible now, right? So just like the people are just like, holy cow, these are so amazing. So we have so many more testimonials, so many more raves, so many more case studies that we could go through. People just getting so clear and so congruent that they're just like, holy cow, my life is just different. I'm different. Okay, so we have some more of those. Now, here's the thing. So we add in the lifetime access to the grads group. That's just a return on your investment. You get access to that for as long as I'm doing this, right? So however long I do Art of Living Crazy Possible, you get access to that graduates group, and it's growing every single month. And with the Future Possibility session, it's $250. You can actually buy one of those for $250 after you've done the course. And these are limited. So we have a limited amount of these available. What you're going to want to do, if you want all of this, you're going to want to actually go and get it ASAP as soon as you can here. And I'm going to give you the link in just a minute. So the total value is $7,607. Of course, that's not going to be the price today. You're going to get all this stuff for free, basically a whole bunch of freebies. And the price is still going to be just $997. So basically $6,600 worth of bonuses and goodies and extras just to ensure that you have an amazing time in this course, because we want to see you succeed. So just go over to artoflivingcrazypossible.com/new. And if you see the Future Possibilities session still listed on the website, then it is still available. I will take them down when there aren't any more available. All right, so artoflivingcrazypossible.com/new. All right, now to make it even easier, on top of everything else, there's just one more thing. You can use our payment plan. So we have a payment plan that's $397 today, and then 2 additional payments of $397. So if the full investment of $997 doesn't work for you today, we do have this other payment option. So you have 2 choices, $997, which basically you save $191 today, or $397 and then 2 additional payments of $397. Join us and receive your Future Possibility session at the artoflivingcrazypossible.com. I'm so excited for this new class to start. We're starting very soon. Oh my gosh, our coaches are amazing. They're fired up. They're like, I can't wait to start this course, because they get so much out of it every time they go through it. Now, here's the thing, is we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. So when you do the work, you go through the processes, you participate, you hop on your Future Possibilities session, you get on the live coaching sessions. If you're one of the very rare ones who doesn't make a notable change, you can email me for a full refund. But I'm going to be honest with you, I've actually never had any refunds for this program, because every single person that's gone through it has had something change in their world that they've been trying to change for a long time. And that's because of the processes that I take you through. That's because of the way we've set it up and the order we've set everything up, and also because of the support that we give you. You can choose this knowing you'll be closing your gaps so that you can receive 100 times your investment. So our company target is to have successful and happy graduates that we actually get to call friends. Like, I call so many of the graduates friends. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Here's the other thing about the guarantee. If you go into anything thinking, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this 90-day money back guarantee, and you're just going to barely put your toe in the water, don't even bother investing in this, because you're not in, right? It works when you are in. You're like, yes, I'm in. I'm going to have this, because why not? Why would you do it any other way? Right? And that would be like your energy telling the universe, hey, show me how I can fail, versus, hey, universe, show me how I can succeed here. So you get all this, like I said before, for just $9.97. How cool is that? All right, Art of Living Crazy Possible. So you can get started now for just $9.97 or $3.97, and then 2 payments with our payment plan at theartoflivingcrazypossible.com/new. So what I want to go do now is go through the most commonly asked questions. And if you still have questions that I don't answer here, feel free to pop them in the chat box and I will personally reply to you. All right, so will this work for me? So here's the question that you're really asking is, do I work? Now there's a couple of things going on. There are so many things out there that are giving you half of the information, partial information, not the full support. And then we've got our own sort of bad programming going on in our own worlds that says you can't do it, it's never going to work for you anyway. So you put those two things together and you get this belief of, will anything ever really work for me, right? And through the Art of Living Crazy Possible, what I've done is I've put together some processes, especially in that first module number 1, the Lie of Belonging, that really have you identify what your underlying programming is, so that we can delete it, so that we can go beyond it, so we can easily sort of move it out of the way. When you don't know that that's there, that sort of runs your life, but then that's exactly what will show up in your life as well. So what we want to do is actually identify it, and in the process you'll actually find out where it came from, and then we'll actually move beyond it. What you'll be doing in the program is actually building upon this whole truth that is really that you work, but you might not have been able to figure out this reality and have this reality work for you, just like me and so many other people. You've got to start doing it your way. But a lot of times it's like, well, what is my way? And that's what we do in the Art of Living Crazy Possible, is discover that for you, finding out how you uniquely create. If you click on over to artoflivingcrazypossible.com/new, you'll see the upcoming dates, and there'll also be a timetable where you can see what time the watch parties are and all the bonuses, and you can just get all the information when you head over to that link. So I'm already a coach. Will this be helpful for me? Well, in every program we get a lot of coaches, facilitators, people like that, powerful, potent, magical people with their clients, but they don't have a space to go to get their own assistance. In this last program, we had about 8 people that were pretty, high-level coaches in their industries, in their fields, and they said that going through this process helped them clarify, their energies in their business, but also their obviously their own energetic priorities, because that's what we do in the course. But they were like, it was so helpful to not have to facilitate myself, but to have somebody contribute to me, and not just me as the facilitator, but the coaches and the other participants. So they were willing to actually dive in with themselves and participate, and they got so much out of it. One of the gals going through a big life transition, and she was like, I couldn't have done it without the support of this group. All right, so what are the watch parties? Now, the watch parties are totally a different and unique way to participate in a class. So I'll explain a little bit more. So watch parties, basically the video modules are videos, right? They're videos of our last class, which is our latest, freshest information. And we post them up in Facebook at certain times of the day, on certain dates, that you can jump on and watch. So the reason this is so helpful, and I call it accelerated learning, is because it actually keeps you accountable. Because how many times do you go, oh, I'm going to do that later or tomorrow, and then we don't ever do it? So it's been, the studies show for productivity and things like that, that when you have something in your calendar, you're more apt to schedule around it so that you do it. And so we wanted to enable you to have that level of accountability for yourself by scheduling these watch parties. Now, all you do is put them in your schedule, jump on Facebook, and then you can view with everybody else. And what's so great about it is that you get to interact. And when you're interacting on the content, you get it on a deeper level. So it's not just, sitting there watching a video. It's like you're engaging. There's coaches if you have questions. So you never actually have to be stuck. So we might be going through a concept and you're like, wait, I'm not really getting this. And you just post in the little chat on Facebook and boom, one of the coaches will help you with that. Cool, huh? I think it's amazing, and we've done a few courses like this, and the feedback from our clients has been phenomenal. They love it. They've said this has made the course invaluable, and they actually finished it. So they got through all of the material, and in each material, there's homework for you to do that expands your energetic congruency, that allows you to start to know how you uniquely create, and that's the point of this whole program. So, do you have country pricing? Yes, I do. So if you go to the link and you scroll down, you'll see codes for different countries. And I do this because some of the currencies in the world right now aren't as strong. So it's a little bit harder for people in certain countries to be a part of this when they really want to. So I've made pricing adjustments. This isn't a discount, and this isn't for everybody. This is for people who live in these particular countries. Now, if you live in a country that I haven't listed on the sheet, just send us an email and see if there's a country pricing for you, and we'll double check. I just can't list every single country in the world because there's so many countries. So just email us if you have a question. Now, if you're in Europe, if you're in Japan, if you're in a country that has strong currency, what if my spouse or family aren't on board for my new life? Well, this is something you actually have to deal with. If you want to create the life that you really want to be living, and you have people in your life that are strongly against it, that's actually one of your gaps. That's one of the things holding your gaps in place. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you got to give up everybody in your life and go move to a totally different city, which that might be fun for you. I don't know. But it will mean looking at how you're being with those people in those relationships. Who are you holding close to you? And adding more and more people that actually support you so that it gets easier and easier and easier to create your new life. Now, there's a lot of different inner workings, and we actually go through this a little bit in the course of, what do you do when the people in your life don't support you and you're married to them, or it's your parents or your siblings, right? And part of it is actually who you're being. Right? If you've been being your whole entire life somebody who has fit in, right, and said, this is our family, so this is how we be, and now you're like, but that was never really me, and I don't want to do that anymore, then there might be a little bit of turbulence as you're moving through that. But what's really cool about this course is that we give you the tools to be able to do that so you can go beyond it and have what you would like to have as your life. And it's amazing on the other side, even if there's turbulence and even if people don't like it in the beginning, a lot of times on the other side, it ends up working out better than you can imagine. So can you tell me a little bit more about the 90-day guarantee? I sure can. So here's the thing is I've never given a refund on this program. Not one person has ever come to me, and I've been doing it for 5 years with thousands of people around the world. Not one person has ever said, hey, Corey, this course really sucked. Can I have my money back? So I was like, you know what? I'd like to actually just let you know that if you go through all of the material, if you do the assignments, if you jump on the live coaching, if you get on with your future possibility session, then you're going to see some massive shifts in who you be and how you function and start to know how you uniquely create. Now, I can't guarantee that you're going to bridge all your gaps in the next 8 weeks or 90 days. That is actually not how the universe works. But what I can guarantee is that you'll make pivots in your world now that within the next year, you will have bridged gaps where you're like, holy cow, that just happened with ease. And some of them aren't that easy. I will say that, as many of us know, but a lot of them, all of a sudden, you just start functioning differently. And what's so cool about that is that we do check in. So we'll check in with you after 6 months and say, hey, how's it going? What's going on in your world? What's different? A lot of times people say, oh my God, I'm just so different. Like everything is just different. It's like they stepped into their new reality. A lot of people will say things that I've always wanted just started showing up. And other people will be like, oh, I don't know how much is really different. And so I started asking them questions like, hey, what about this or what about this? And they go, oh yeah, that's not even a problem anymore. Oh yeah, I totally did that. And they just aren't acknowledging themselves for all the gaps they have bridged and what is different now. And so by the time I get done talking to them, they're like, holy cow, like everything is really different. So what we're doing is we're actually like, like on a plane, right? A pilot is always adjusting. So if you are going from San Diego to New York City, it's not a straight line. It's these little adjustments. But if you're just 1 degree off, then you will end up in a completely different place. Okay, so just we're making these little tiny shifts that sometimes seem like big ones and sometimes they seem like tiny ones. We'll take as many shifts as we can get because it all adds up. But you'll end up in a completely different place if you are willing to make these tiny little shifts. So if after 90 days you're like, nah, it didn't do anything for me at all, but you did the work, I'm happy to give your money back. Now, to take me up on this refund policy, you have to step up to the plate here and meet me halfway. So you do the work. I'll deliver the best possible that I can and support you in the best possible ways that we can. And when you step up to the plate, let's see where we can take it. Because my commitment really is to have happy, satisfied customers living their crazy possible lives. All right, so if I can't make the watch parties, what? So we have 2 watch parties per module and 2 live coachings per time frame. And so if you head over to the link, you'll be able to see the timetable. And on that timetable, you'll be able to put in your schedule. Now, here's the thing. We are a global company. We have people from around the world. So what we've done is we've set up 2 times, and one is in a good European time, one is in a good US time, and then because of the placement of Australia and New Zealand get both time frames. So we tried to make it as easy as possible for everybody in the world to be able to watch a live viewing during their waking hours. Now, it may not work for your work schedule or something like that, but I would just invite you to try to make it work as best as you can. And if you can't, you can always review 2 things. You can go into your membership area and watch the video on your own, which is totally fine, and they're amazing. But if you want the engagement, you can still go online into our private Facebook group and view the watch parties that just happened. So you can actually see the interaction from the other people as well, and you can still interact on those because they're still in the Facebook group. So what our coaches are doing is our coaches are going to be replying. So if you have a question on a certain part, our coaches will get notified and they'll actually respond to you on those too as well. So it's not that big of a deal, but if you can make the watch parties, it makes it even better. And if you can't make the watch parties, I wouldn't make that a deal breaker, because still being in the Facebook group, you can ask any question you want. So if you have a question from the watch party and you post it in the Facebook group anyway, you're still going to get a response. All right, so what can I ask on the live coaching? Anything. You can really ask anything. And what we strive to do in these is turn problems into possibilities. Because so much of the time we come to coaching or come to a course and things like that with a problem, and what we want to actually do is take those problems and flip them and turn them into possibilities so you can really be working with them. Now we'll be applying the tools that you've learned so far through the program, right, depending on what module you're on when the coaching happens. And you can ask anything. So if something's coming up for you, it's totally in your face, you're like, what's going on here? Then ask it. You can ask whatever. Something's coming up, you want to celebrate something, you have a question about clarification, you want to clarify, what your energetic priorities are, or you're having a little trouble setting targets. You can ask any question. There's no question that's off limits. All right, so how long is the Future Possibilities Sessions bonus available? Until they're gone. So if you go to the link above and they are no longer listed, they are gone. We only have a limited amount of them available simply because we just don't have enough time in the day to be doing them all. So we offer them until we're booked out. And then you actually get them. You don't get to do it right away because we actually want you to go through the material so that we can work with you with your energetic priorities and your targets. And that's up until module number 6. You'll actually have to have completed module number 7, and we start scheduling after module number 6 so that you can have that under your belt. You get on those calls and they just are so powerful. It's almost like you get zoomed into a new reality just on those calls. All right, so that's the end of the questions that I've got here. If you have a different question, please feel free to message me in the chat box and I will personally respond to your questions. before I go, I want to share with you just a little bit more crazy possible magic. So these are some of the testimonials from our clients. If you're done hoping and wishing things will manifest, Corey Michelle will pop you out of this destructive fantasy and help you ignite your true creative capacities. That's Kelly Early, and that was before she became a crazy possible coach. All I have to say is, whomever is reading this, if you're reading this, just ask yourself, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? If you get a light or expansive feeling, choose it. You're in for your new life, baby. That's Frank Fradella. He's awesome. When I began ALCP, I had a pretty good life. Money was good, my marriage was good, but good was getting boring. It's been 7 months now, and wow, I'm having so much fun. My life went from boring, good, to fun and exciting. And that's Marissa from California. So really, with that one, it doesn't matter if you have, huge gaps where you're really struggling, or if you're just like a little bit bored, or more is possible. So Corey, I have to share with you, I didn't think this course would create any changes for me. Nothing ever did before. I was really looking to blame you for not delivering. What an honest thing to say there. So, but happily, I have to report that I was totally wrong. It turns out I'm a magical creator. I work and I can create. This is the biggest gift anyone could have given me. So much gratitude for ALCP. And that's Ellen. She's in Norway. It was so amazing to see her come out the other side. It was just like, what a gift to have her living her life the way she wants to in this world. So I said yes to me when I got the awareness that this course was what I was asking for. No more waiting, which was my old pattern. I just said yes. Simone Jeffers, she's in Australia. She's doing really great now. So it's time to say goodbye to the gap, to not knowing how you create, to the confusion, the frustration, the struggle, and not having a life you came to live. And hello to your new reality. All right, so we're going to pop you out of just stepping into another fishbowl, but to creating a crazy possible unicorn life. Thank you so much for joining me today with this exclusive VIP session. If any of this read for you and you have gaps in your life that you're like, I don't want to have that in a year. I'm done. I'm over it. Join me in the next class and let's take you to the next level of knowing how you create in your way so that you can do it over and over and over. Thank you for you, and I look forward to seeing what we can create together.